What's up, everybody? Excited to welcome you to this week's podcast. It's The Perspective. We've got a special guest in the house, so excited to introduce him. It's Mamba season. So people are out throwing down bracket style, rep versus rep competition. But we have a huge announcement and a big welcome to Brandon Wilson in the house.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. It's cool to see us all come together. It's been a lot the past couple months or however long it's been, a lot of change, but I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Dude, you got a story to tell. You've been a few places in the last couple months.
Yeah, I've stayed. Yes, I've been more places in the last 2 months than I've been in my solar journey.
I was gonna say, historically, like, your group has been in one place, right? So the last 45 days or so has been kind of a
bit. Yeah, it's been super crazy. Yeah, so we as in 2020, I moved out to Texas. Me and my wife, we went out there and we sold with a company called Freedom Forever, right? A company called Sunder. A lot of you guys have probably heard about them. And we sold with Freedom for 5 years, and we're going to continue doing it forever. And then they filed bankruptcy, and everything we're doing kind of flipped on its head. And then we went through the process of looking for a lot of different companies, and we ended up deciding on a company called New Sun. They had a platform that kind of was like, it helped bridge the gap and with as much as we could with what we had, right? So it was not perfect. No company out there is perfect, but it ended up leading to introductions to where we met Landon. And yeah, so we were there, 3 weeks. And then they sold the Sunrun, which we met with Sunrun prior. It didn't work out. So we're like, okay, sweet. And then we ended up meeting Landon. That's kind of led us to here. And a lot of people are like, dude, like, how are you doing it? And I think that life happens for you, not to you, right? And I think that the New Sun switch and everything happened because we were supposed to be here, right? And meeting you guys today. And, but yeah, we're really excited to be here.
The thing I was going to say is, like, you guys have come in with a splash. Like, the thing I think everybody needs to know is that, like, these guys are barely figuring out how to submit all of their deals. Like, they're selling a lot of volume, and randomly, like, they're figuring out this intake process. But, like, last week was seeding, and all of a sudden, like, in a matter of just a couple weeks, like, you guys throw down, which is really fun to see.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Even me, I'm trying to learn the systems, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know even who's in there, who's not. We did like 103 from, like, the numbers that I know of last week, right? With the groups. And
by the way, I think like 40, maybe 50 of those showed up in our system.
Hey,
yeah,
that's better than.
But dude, like, we're halfway there.
Yeah, exactly. Little by little, we'll eventually get there. And that's the thing. We always came from one installer, right? So last year, our group did 3,000 installs, right? That's across our main groups are in, we have East Coast and then Illinois, Texas, and then California, right? So kind of right, both sides and the right in the middle.
You guys are coast to coast.
Coast to coast, yeah, all over. So all one installer. So we're super new to this multiple different installer world for that side. But it was also nice to be exclusive with Empower again, to have that sense of like exclusivity with the simplicity of it that comes from being with Empower Directs for the California and Arizona and Texas volume.
I think that's what makes this platform so unique, is that you get one place that all the volume can go, but you have the ability to go use like the best install partners in each state, So like as groups onboard, like it's like, hey, let's go find the very best installer in Illinois or South Carolina or California, and which obviously in time we want more and more of that volume to be Empowered directly, but it does allow guys to go have that freedom, but also the stability of one platform.
100%. Yeah, it's been no, I agree. And with everything, like throughout time, like the more simplified we can make it, the more production you get and everything. So, but it has been nice there's been pros and cons to the whole switch. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Honestly, for us, like, welcome.
Well, thank
you. We're excited to have you here. Like, to come in the last couple of weeks and you're like right at the top of the leaderboards. I think it's like where you guys are used to being, right?
Yeah.
Like historically, that's where you've been.
100%. Historically, we've been, like we've always been close to the top, and we've actually always been the top. There was a year or so where we're number 2 or, right up there with some of when we're in like the prime years with Solar Pros, but it is, and that was like the first thing that when I was hearing about your guys' competition platforms, like I got excited and I guess there was like one that's like Lake Powell, and they were talking about a team that won it for 3 years in a row. I'm like, I feel so bad for that team, dude. I felt horrible.
Dude,
Like, truly, so.
I think it's like I want to address this a little bit because it's kind of the elephant in the room that when groups come together, like there's a little bit of like there's some excitement. I think when groups come together, there's also this element of like, hey, like we're sizing, like people start to size each other up and start to get a feel for that. But I think it's really healthy. Like competition breeds excellence. I think it's like what brings out the best in everybody. And so we're excited to go add everybody in and just like let everybody go rise to the top and like have it bring out the best in everybody.
100%. Yeah, high tides raise all ships. We're the group that we work with is extremely abundant, right? Like that is something that we, take pride in, and we want to see everyone win, and we want the more competition, like the working with you guys. Like I think that as you guys go meet the sales leaders and the sales reps that come over, and as I meet and these other leaders meet the people that are already currently here, I think that you guys will find out that like kind of like I said, things happen for you. And I think a lot of people are like, man, this was meant to be, because all around there's a lot of like little things that you can't see or measure that you'll see improvements for just from us all being together stronger.
100%. And I think it's like there's a message to the industry of like, hey, this, and it's going to be fun to go tell the story through production. One of the things that I love about your group is that it's like, hey, we're going to go subtly just win with the numbers. Like to me, that like volume is reality. And I think that as we go have that be a focus for both groups, I think that it can be really healthy.
No, I totally agree. We came from a group that wasn't super loud, that we did really well. And we went to a group like Solar Pros that was extremely loud, right? And then going back, and we're someone that's like, hey, we can go create a story, a podcast, and go talk about all the numbers we're going to do. Or we can go crush and do it and then post, and people will see like, hey, these guys actually do throw down, which will create excitement for everyone.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Dude, I was like staring at your biceps for a second there. Like, Iron Man coming, you said?
Iron Man on October, yeah.
Okay. So while you're doing all this volume and prepping for your Iron Man, like what, I guess tell me really quick, like why Empower?
Actually,
because I mean, honestly, you have a unique perspective, right? Like you've seen different places, you've been different places like this. I don't know. I'm excited to hear why.
Yeah, no, it is, when everything happened, right? Like when the whole initial switch happened with Freedom, like I'm not someone, and a lot of people we work with are people that like to go shop, right? Like the grass is greener, the greenest where you water it. And when we went out there, I didn't know what to look for. And I didn't really even know Empower, right? So we went, and I went to someone that I've known for years that, one of the reasons that Newson is he was a dominant person, in the industry. And so I'm like, hey, it's time for me to like level up in my career, and I want to go learn someone that's done it for a long time. And that was Jordan. But it was weird. I didn't pick them because of solar. It was kind of like you just got rocked in solar, and you're like, what is solar next? Like, I kind of made me need to be a better sales leader, right? And so that's maybe one of the reasons I was drawn to them. There's, but I didn't know if I could. It was weird with what the solar space is going through. And as I was over there for a short amount of time, and they sold to Sunrun, I'm like, I can't do this, but I'm not ready to get out of solar. And as I was going through, it was funny, Chad and Landon both reached out, and I kind of blew them off, and I didn't know what to do. I felt really lost, but because solar is scary. Everyone's like, you need to start your own dealer, and it's a scary world to kind of go start your own dealer right now with everything happen. What really sold me on Empower is when I finally, it was weird. I got a text from Landon, and I'm like, I need to call this person. And I jump on the phone with Landon, and it was like for the first time in a long time, I'm like, whatever it is, I trust him. And I was like, and then I'm like, yeah, like, you know what? Like, and we kept talking and talking. And as I started being around him more, I'm like, it was a breath of fresh air to be with someone. You're like, he's not the loudest. He's not like crazy, like the typical, but it was like, okay, he has integrity. I can trust what he's going to do. And in an industry right now that is scary, in an industry right now that, like companies are going out of business, it was like, I was watching them do things others weren't, as far as like, I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, we don't have debt. Like, we don't take M1s from from financiers. Like, there were so many things I'm like, that's so different. And he goes about it in a humble way, which kind of drew me to him, to the sense where it made me excited about solar again. I'm like, I feel like I'm planting my feet in a spot that is strong, right? And when you feel that sense of security, that's when you really can like kind of plant your feet and go double down again, right? So
It's cool.
probably one of the biggest reasons. So
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
I love that.
I love that also. Well, I wanted to go jump in to some of the numbers from last week, because I think it goes in shows like some of the volume, like some of your people are already in the leaderboards, and so I wanted to go highlight a couple of these numbers. So top leaders from last week, top 5 leaders, we had Joseph Pham out of Fresno, we had Amber Denny, Amber, welcome, with 9. We had Ryan Rothman with 6. Joshua Hammer with 6, and Grayson Clemens at 3. And then top closers on the week, we had Tad Jorgensen. He's one of your main guys, right?
yep.
So Tad was at 13 last week,
Throwing down.
out in Illinois. We had Josh Adams at 10, Chad Labonte at 9, Justin Johnson at 8, and then Leighton Hicks at 8.
That's all. Yeah,
Those are your boys?
those are all, not all of them, but yeah, there's Leighton, Justin, and Tad. Yeah, they are, and they're legit. Like Tad, he's the reason I'm doing the Ironman. He's like, you're doing it with me. I'm like, no. I was gonna tell him that I did not. I was like, I'm having a kid coming. I'm work, bro. Works crazy.
He's like, no excuses.
Works crazy for me.
Yeah,
I'm having a kid too, but he's top of the line, and then Leighton and JJ, both of them too, are just top of the line people. They're legit.
That's cool. Well, wanted to take a second and just talk through them all really quick. There's a couple things that I wanted to go hit on. So seeding week was awesome last week. So in the lead rep bracket, we are in the round of 64. In the closers bracket, we're in the round of 32. There's some impressive matches happening right now. So just as a reminder to everybody, so the first round is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Wednesday is rollover day. So what that means for some of the new alpha guys, Wednesday actually counts for both rounds. So the way that we run the competition is on Wednesday, if you sold 5 that day, you're actually already starting with 5 for the next round, which it avoids people from being able to sandbag accounts. So it's like whatever volume you sell that day counts for the next round. So Wednesdays we normally historically see a lot of production, and then round 2 is going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's first and second rounds in the Mamba coming up, and guys it's starting to heat up. Like guys are starting to really pick up momentum, and it's heating up.
Yeah, love that. You mentioned abundance, and I kind of want to close out with this unless you guys have any other thoughts, but like for us, the opportunity to go make the pie bigger. I think a lot of times people look at it and it's like, okay, there's a new group or there's new people and like we got to go cut up this pie and that means we're taking less. But the opportunity to have you guys come in, be a part of Empower, and just make that pie bigger, like so much opportunity. The space is massive, and I think for all of us, like we're excited to have Alpha here. We're excited to go continue to grow, and we will continue to get more loud. Like people will know who we are, and you guys are a big part of that.
I'm pumped. Yeah, I can't agree more. I'm just gonna second everything he said there.
Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's perspective. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good week.